it's Linda from Richter Stitcher, and I'm pretty sure this is Flosstube number 26. I have been gone quite a while, and I do apologize for that. I'll shortly say that it was last November, 2024. You get that time of year is when I usually have my physical and just kind of knock things on the calendar and get it done before the holidays. And I was going to just my routine physical when you get the news that you never want to hear and you just wonder how you're going to handle it. But you probably know from my socials I've experienced a little bit of some heart situation. I have what they call a low ejection fraction, which is basically the way the blood pumps out of my heart is too slow. So they caught that on an MRI when I was having my physical, and I was supposed to go to get a colonoscopy, but my care doctor came in before I left and told me not to schedule that, but to schedule to see my cardiologist. And it's been a good 10-15 years since I've seen my cardiologist, because when I used to clean houses for church members and stuff, I was having issues with I don't know what they call it, like a fast paced heartbeat. And at the time, 10 or 15 years ago, they had said it. A lot of it could have been from caffeine related, and so they asked me not to drink so much caffeine. So I went to decaf. I hope I don't lose my voice. But at that time, I started feeling better and not having any issues with that. So maybe back then I might have still had the same condition that I have now, but after 10 or 15 years, it worsened. And I was in like the 40 percentile, and that's a danger zone. So they started doing all kinds of tests starting last November. And that all led up to just this past week when they decided, and I had to make a decision too if it was something I wanted to do. But they said I was candidate for a defibrillator device to be implanted. So that's what I had done this last week. And I'm not sure why I'm losing my voice, but in the last couple days, just recovering, maybe not talking to a whole lot of people, I don't know. So hopefully I can get through this, but they did implant it. I'm very grateful for the technology that's out there today, and I will be safe if my heart does tend to go out of rhythm. This device will shock it back. Hopefully that'll never happen. But the other good thing that I thought from all the doctors and the testing is I did not have any symptoms prior. Most people go into a heart attack or have other complications, then have to get the device. So thankfully I just had to make that decision. Is it something I should do now or wait? But I feel better secure to knowing that I have that. So that's mainly why I've been off for the last 6 months, between all the tests and decisions and prayers. But I'm glad to be back to thinking about what I can do in here in my craft room. Like I said, last year I had started to make quilt tubes as well as floss tubes. I'm probably going to scrap that and just put everything into the one video, and hopefully just try to keep it at an hour and no longer, because I don't like to watch them that are super long. So an hour is probably max, and so that's what I'm hoping, between 45 minutes to an hour when I do come on. Whether it's monthly or every couple weeks or every few weeks, I don't know. I'm just going to see how I recover. I've done a lot of things between the last 6 months, but I'm not even gonna bring all that out and share it. I do post on my socials things here and there, so you can go back and kind of see what I've worked on the last 6 months during that time if you'd like. But this video I'm calling Flosstube 26. If that number's wrong, I'll put it down at in the description, but it's mainly just what I've done in here in this room since January. And since January, I've just kind of wanted things where I could get to things. So that's kind of where we're at. And I'm going to just insert after this video what it looks like, and you'll get the gist of how things are going. And then I'll look forward to the next time I come on actually having some things to share with you that I've finished and completed. So I appreciate you watching, and I will insert the other videos at this time, and we'll talk to you all later. Bye. Just the tour of what's been done. I'm going to keep all my stands in this room. And I got this closet pretty much stacked. Those are projects for crochet that have been started. So my whips for crochet are going in here because there's no room in the hall closet. And I put all the videos that were down on the floor up there with my blankets. Got things easy to get to. Started filling the bins. Most of them are going to be fabrics. Then of course my cross stitch fabrics, my clear bins over there, markers, and then of course my frames sewing batting. That's for my sewing machine, and that now has my spare DMC that's not on hooks yet. So I've got each drawer, and I'm going to label them. A couple of them have a couple of the hundreds, like 2, 3, and 400s I don't have a lot of, so I put those together. The top bin I still need to sort through, but it's all DMC as well. And then I need to label those white bins. The kind of things that are in there are on the sheet of paper, and I'll just rewrite on the chalk. Elastics, trims, lace, a couple of them are still empty, rickrack, paintbrushes, PVC, let's see, and then I have miscellaneous flosses in the boxes, the cardboard boxes up top, so I'll just put a sticker on those. But that's those, and then I've got silks in here, and I'm thinking about putting maybe Gentle Arts or whichever I have the most of, Classic Colorworks in here, and then the file drawer can just be the others, that like Color and Cotton, things that I don't have a lot of. Those are still all my patterns, and my sewing boxes are down on the bottom. We added a shelf, so I was able to put my planners on the bottom, and then the rest are patterns for crochet and cross stitch and sewing. My threads down here, Versoix, Sulky, and Pearl Cottons. My sewing boxes and stands for cross stitch, magnets, and floss drop holders. And then I put all my ribbons that used to hang in the closet just in a bin. They fit in a bin, so. And then of course I want to get this thing all oiled and working, but it's my hand crank, and it sits under here, so getting rid of those drawers has really helped so that I can get to these things easily. And then of course my DMC, it's pretty much organized, but I do want to add to it with all the spare ones that I haven't gone through, and I'm going to try to convince hubby to hang this guy. I think I'll leave it the color it is though. It's natural wood, but it's got my 50 weight, I can't remember what this is, but it's Ortho for sewing, and I was thinking of hanging it on the wall just under here so I can easily get to it. And then I put my extra hoops and Q-snaps over here. I have what are those other ones called? Q-snaps that are all taken apart, and I keep them in the closet. But then I have 3 bins here. A couple are empty, crochet threads in that one, and then of course my desk drawer mostly has the punches and stuff and notepads. This is my box of finished projects. I keep a 3x5 card. I've got a labeler, a couple labelers actually, and then this is mostly things for labeling and clipping, and then my coasters. Oh, there's a drawer here, I forgot. Those are more desk supplies, stapler and hand cream, things like that. And then the bottom has like stabilizers and stuff, most of what I've got, but I do have a few things up in the closet. Okay, thought I'd come on real quick, share the way the craft room finally got organized a week ago, and then while I was recovering, hubby came in and did a little bit of giving me a new TV So things were all over the place on the cutting table, so I had to clear that off today. But we have organized and lit up everything, so there's lights everywhere. This is my storage for flosses and mostly stitchy stuff for cross stitch. Stands and magnets and floss rings. There's some ribbon down there. This machine belongs to Nancy, my friend. She purchased it and wants to learn to sew. So as soon as she gets back over here, I'll show her how it works. And then we organized the closet. I posted lots of things on my socials. Sorry about my voice. Not sure what's causing that, but a week from surgery, I've been through a lot, so maybe that's why. Lots of organization in here. DMC flosses are up in here. I gotta label these yet. What they say is not what they are, but I have a paper that tells me what I need to put on them, so I'll do that next, as well as my cross-stitch fabrics. My 3-tier cart holds all of my ironing supplies. This is a project that's on the actual design board, so I will put that over here. Probably put a clipboard to hang there. I just got some magnets and bags hanging here that I commonly use. These are scraps that I need to sort through and put away. My tea and coffee are here. Underneath is a shelf that has my DVD player. Those are my UFOs for sewing. Some quilt tops and fabrics that I'm going to use to make some quilts. My mannequin with my hoops. Kathy, my featherweight, was gifted to me. A friend at church wanted this to go to a good home. Her mother sewed and she didn't, so she gave that to me. It's a table Nelco. I have 2 antique singers that I found at antique shops over the last 3 to 5 years. My hand crank found at an antique shop as well. If the power ever goes out and I need to sew, it needs a touch TLC. I have not done anything since I bought it last December, I think. But I need to get that working. All the other machines in here work. I also have my mother-in-law's Kenmore under the table back there. These are all my kitted projects. For now, I've got them in 3 baskets. I used to keep them in the cupboard, but decided since I haven't started them, they can sit under here. My serger sits up here. And then I think that's all the sewing machines I have. My daughter got me a Cricut. I have not learned to use it yet, but that's another project. This unit here, I transformed from my office when my daughter moved out into my crafting supplies. So those are all my cross-stitch whips. And then I have diamond painting up top. And then just some sewing supplies up there. And rope, things like that. Pellets to fill things when I finish items. The lower unit, of course I keep my scissors and knickknacks up in here. Lower unit has cross-stitch fabrics and cross-stitch that I'm kitting. They're not complete yet. Some have fabrics, some have flosses. That's on the right. I keep my files in here. Anything that I've purchased that I need to keep receipts for, or magazines, as well as A through Z cross-stitch designer patterns that I keep in here. Freebies as well. Underneath is bags and more bags, mostly project bags. And then I have a few cross-stitch finishes that have not been finished, so they're under here as well. The other nice thing about this desk is it was meant for a computer, but my cutting and ironing station can also be here if I don't want to wheel out my 3-tier cart. I can use my wool mats on the top when I fold it down, plug in an iron, and I can iron here. And then if I'm cutting, the board for finishings, that's under here. All of my cutting tools, I guess you would say. The sticky board and stuff like that, I use that for cutting. So this will be more of a workspace area since I put my Cricut, I guess you call it a Cricut. And these glass tops are handy if I need to glue, so I've just put some placemats over top if I need to set something down. Up top is mostly all the cases that I've collected. I use some when I go to retreats, that one. There's some I want to transform like Jessica Sweetwater does, and as well as a few others, Flosstubers, that have inspired me to look at how they refinish train cases, etc. There's a couple up there. There's a hat box up there. Things that I'll do someday, but for now I just decorated it. And then, of course, my cutting table. Other than that, that's how it is, and that's how we're going to keep it for now. I've got fabrics to sort through. And then pre-cuts are all here on this side. These 6 units have fabrics. These are mostly puzzles, things that I just didn't have room in the house for. So like card games, CDs, all that kind of stuff are in these 6 units. And then the whole other side is all fabrics and zip bag supplies if I'm making project bags. And then magnifying lights. That's pretty much how I store all of my supplies so that they're where I can see them. I still need to fix all of the tabs, find a few extras. The unit here is just, it used to have be under the TV, but I've got it under the sewing table now, with where I'll keep my current updated things that are happening soon. Chatterbox retreat coming up in July, and then pens and pencils. So other than that, I think that's pretty much the room. And hopefully get back in here in the next week and look forward to finishing up some of the ones that I've started here. This is a phone holder, as well as a 5-block mini quilt that I've started, as well as all those that have been collecting over the last 3 years that I need to get back to. Some project bags way up top that haven't been completed. So I just need to knock things out. So that's my craft room as of May 28th, 2025. Appreciate you all following and liking, and we'll talk to you later.